So, first and foremost, I need you to know that this story is rated PG. Because it's rated PG, you might want to go get your parent and bring them in the room with you. If you are a parent, then you're okay. You're okay. If you are under the age of parental guidance, you cannot watch this video. Or if you're an adult who acts like you're 13, this probably is not the best short story for you. I'm super I'm super excited. I'm super excited to do this. So this is vlog number 2, not 4. This is a short story I wrote a couple of months ago based on actual events and some maybe not actual events, but here we go. The day the peanut butter bars died, an ode to one of my first true loves. She's leaving for good. It happened suddenly and without much fanfare, but today 55,000 students lost an American dream. That American dream was the lunch lady peanut butter bar. She went out without a fight and gave in quickly to a few students and most likely their parents who have peanut allergies. Like many of the other great things in life, a few people cause the rest of us to suffer and go without. The way of the peanut butter bars is no different. I want you to understand that I understand allergies. I understand allergies. Before you get all huffy puffy and you say, oh, you don't get it. You don't have allergies, Mr. Campbell. You don't know people that have allergies. I need to just have you slow your rolling back up for a minute. You're probably thinking that I lack emotion or empathy for students that are allergic to peanuts or gluten or cranberries, or chocolate, or water, or whatever other things that kids are allergic to. But I live in an allergy landmine. 5 of the 9 people in my family are allergic to gluten or flour. No, not celiacs, or because we are in some fancy diet, but we are an EpiPen-carrying, Benadryl-loaded potato flour family, or Gunthem flour, if you would like, which means no, and I mean the real, not gluten-free, crappy replacement, cookies, donuts, pasta, pizza, brownies, fries, breaded anything, most sauces, a lot of sodas, cakes, toothpaste, hairspray, some facial wash, soy sauce, canned soups, dips, and a lot of other things. So today, when I talk to you or I explain why this hurts me so bad, it does. Because our nutritional staff made our peanut butter bars for the last time. I got a little emotional. And I could probably even say a lot of emotional. And so I need to take you back to where my love of peanut butter bars all began. Now, as cliche as this may sound, I think it was love at first bite. I recall my first glance at a peanut butter bar in 3rd grade. I was attending Suncrest Elementary School in Orem, Utah. I assume it was a Tuesday because all of my entire school life connected with Tuesdays was about peanut butter bars, not tacos. I saw her sitting on a little styrofoam plate, alone, staring back at me. She was begging me to pick her up. What she didn't notice, or what she didn't see, or what she didn't realize is all of the other beautiful peanut butter bars sitting on their plates, waiting to be picked up as well. She was a middle piece without edges, and like a 50s pinup girl showing a little bit of leg, she had pulled back her chocolate top layer, revealing a little bit of peanut butter underneath. Not too much, but leaving just enough. I was smitten at that moment. That moment in time, I was smitten. I grabbed her and the styrofoam plate, and I put her on my lunch tray. We had a romantic lunch together. Her staring at me while I ate my vegetables and turkey dinner, and me making sure not to drink too much milk, so I had some just a little bit at the end to wash her down. I slowly took bites of her and noticed my crooked teeth marks in the chocolate and the peanut butter and the oatmeal bar. She didn't care about my crooked teeth, which is one reason that I loved her. She took me as I was, just like I took her as she was. We had an on and off again relationship. throughout elementary school. My parents were trying to save money and pay off some bills, so I started bringing home lunch. I know she felt worthless and unwanted as my dessert switched to graham crackers and frosting instead of her. Occasionally, I would find 25 cents in the couch and steal from my sister's piggy bank so that we could have lunch together. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't a daily routine. I think she knew, too. I think she knew that I was cheating on her with graham crackers and frosting. I could see it in her eyes when she looked at me. She wanted to be exclusive, but I just couldn't do it. My parents couldn't afford a peanut butter bar every day. She was going to have to wait until I got a job. And in 7th grade, I got a job. Everything changed. I became a custodian working every Saturday night, cleaning for $75 a week. I had to vacuum and scrub toilets, clean windows, and organize books, wash down counters. But it did change when I got to 7th grade. I mean, everything. This was before My Plate and Healthy Choices and the American diabetes epidemic. This was before all of that. I got a job, like I told you, making $75 a week. And Orem Junior High School, bless its soul, had a dessert line. It was celestial in all of the possible ways that you could imagine a dessert line would be. An entire line of desserts just for me, but not just for me, but for everyone. Everyone could get desserts whenever they wanted. They were both school-made and manufactured. Our choices included, and I remember them very specifically, and probably so do you, snickerdoodles, chocolate chip cookies, chocolate crinkle cookies, pink sugar cookies, Rice Krispie treats, Hostess donuts, Twinkies, Chocodiles, Ho-Hos, and a time of an era gone by, turtle cream pies. Oh, they were good. Nothing, again. I did not start cheating on the peanut butter bars with the turtle cream pies, but the turtle cream pies were delicious. You may ask how she could separate herself from all of the other fantastic desserts, but I only had eyes for her. She didn't have to stand out. She got a little more expensive, 35 cents. But I would have paid 50 cents if they'd asked me to. I didn't have to wait for Tuesdays anymore. Every day was ours and ours alone until Jesse came along. Jesse ruined everything. You see, Jesse was a bully. He would stalk the lunchroom and look for unsuspecting kids who went to the bathroom or forgot a fork and then ravaged their plate for the good stuff. Sometimes Jesse would get desperate enough, he would just take things right off of our plates. Jesse was not liked by a lot of people. And in fact, this may affect him in a long term. I don't know Jesse and I don't know where he's at now. Everyone started eating lunch like Lord of the Flies style, one hand wrapped around their tray, shoving foods in their mouth like this. You know, you've been there if you went to middle school and kids would come up and steal stuff. Well, that's how we would eat when Jesse came around, and we would eat as fast as we could. So I remember lunches when I would just grab my peanut butter bar and shove the whole thing in my mouth because I had to, because I didn't want anybody else to take her. And I'll be honest, some of the best days of my life were when Jesse was absent. They were terrific because everyone turned back into civilized teenagers who ate lunch and we talked with friends and people and acquaintances. But when Jesse was there, students started switching tables and breaking friend groups to get a few days in a safe spot where Jesse couldn't find them. But he found us. He knew. Regret and betrayal. I regret those moments with her. I didn't give her the time and attention she deserved. At times, I would down the entire peanut butter bar in 2 bites, like I said earlier, and I ate the rest of my lunch, and more importantly, before Jesse could find me. You see, Jesse recognized pretty quickly that I was buying something from the dessert bar every day. I paid cash, so my parents couldn't see the transaction history on my lunch number. But it was hard to walk out of the dessert bar with multiple desserts and not have anybody notice. Even my friends started to notice. And these were my friends. These are kids that I grew up with. These are kids on my block. These are kids that I walked to school with. These are kids that I walked home from school with. They didn't steal her, but they got jealous of her. They would bug me to buy them something, or even worse, want me to split my peanut butter bar with them. These were sad times. And when we have sad times, we need a hero. We got a hero. His name was Corby. Corby, if you're watching this, you are still a hero to this day for saving our lunches. And if you're not watching, it's okay. But at Orem Junior High School, during the Lord of the Flies, quote unquote, a hero appeared in the most unlikely of places in the form of a kid named Corby. Corby, I love you. Corby was the kid at lunch who would eat anything. And you know the kid I'm talking about, because every lunch and every school has them. He would take 6 or 7 hot sauces and pour them in milk. He would burrow out his burrito and pour Jell-O down in the burrito. He would dump everything on a plate and he would eat a spoonful. Not because he was trying to gain friends, but because he had grown up faster than all of us. He had become a man and was willing to do things when we told him we dared him to do it. He became known as the Iron Stomach. He could eat anything. In fact, I probably even think one time he ate a fork, one of the plastic ones, and chewed it up. Little plastic pieces were flying all out of his mouth. Anyway, I need to slow down because this moment is amazing. Side note here. If you're still listening, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here. There'll be a weekly vlog on Saturdays that I'm going to try and keep up with, obviously. Go ahead and subscribe somewhere around here, wherever it's at. The Iron Stomach had had enough of Jesse stealing his lunch, and not only his lunch, but all of the other kids' lunches. Like Squints Palidorus from Sandlot, he could not take it anymore. I still remember the day that the Iron Stomach stood up to Jesse. It will live in infamy because it was a day I got her, the peanut butter bar, back for good. This is where the music should start to get a little bit louder and a little bit more intense and a little bit more epic, because this is the moment when Jesse taps out. Jesse came lurking around our table for food and took one of Corby's fries. You don't touch people's fries. You just don't do that. And Corby stood up and exploded on Jesse. Corby's voice was shaky, and you could see that he was about to go atomic. His words stuttered, and his spit was coming out of the corner of his mouth. I don't remember his exact words, but Corby didn't just speak for himself that day. He spoke for all of us, and we all stood a little higher. Jesse didn't come back to our table for the rest of the year. Now, what do we do when heroes save our lives or save our treats at lunch? We pay them respect. We build them plaques. We give them monuments. We remember them forever. Out of appreciation and as a medal of honor, I bought Corby a dessert of his choice. As I grew older and went through puberty, I dealt with some things, right? I slowly grew out of peanut butter bars during my high school and college days, moving towards more expensive desserts, Granny B's cookies, Otis Spunkmeyer cookies, and Hostess Crumb donuts. However, like old flames, you can never really let them go. When I became a teacher at middle school, all of our memories came flooding back in a moment. Those first glances in elementary school, my crooked teeth marks in her peanut butter and chocolate covering, my thoughtfulness of saving some extra milk just to drink after I had finished eating her. I couldn't get away from her. For the last 9 years, both as a teacher and as administrator, I've spent almost every Tuesday with her at lunch. Sometimes I don't get lunch because of the school chaos, and I know that she understands because I'm doing my job and I'm doing what I get paid to do. Sometimes, bless you, Holly. Bless you, Holly. I absolutely love you. Holly, our lunch manager, will save me one, or the hall monitors will set her on my desk, and I'll come back after a rough day at lunch outside or doing something and calling parents and disciplining kids, and there'll be a peanut butter bar sitting on my desk. They know how much I love her. They know how much I love peanut butter bars. They can see it in my eyes, and they help me enjoy these small moments in life. This morning, knowing that today was the last day with her before peanut allergies took her from me forever. The nutrition workers went the extra mile. They made me a plate-sized peanut butter bar all to myself. They made me a plate-sized peanut butter all for myself. And I'm not just talking a small little plate. I'm talking a half of a pan that filled an entire styrofoam plate from the lunchroom. And they wrapped it with nice wrapping to keep it fresh just for me. I knew, and I think she knew, that this would be our last date. I decided to make our last date extremely special. I used a fork and a knife, and we'll make her last a couple of days, which I did, before I take the last bite and say goodbye to one of my first true loves. It's not just the peanut butter bar that says goodbye today. It's all of the memories and moments she brings and carries with her. And I want to thank everyone, Holly, specifically you and your staff, and all the lunch ladies everywhere, specifically in my district, for making peanut butter bars special. Again, my name is Mr. Campbell from Mr. Campbell Rocks and Mr. Campbell Rocks on YouTube. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, tune in every Saturday for a vlog. If you're here, it's because I invited you, or you somehow randomly searched for peanut butter bars on the internet and found this. Either way, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here.